and welcome to another episode of Spoiler Kings, guys. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Tank Kramer. He's here, guys.
Yeah.
He's here. And of course, I can't do it without Brandon, Brandon. You know that.
What is up?
Going on, guys? What's happening?
Oh man, first full week of October, man. Just like I've said, one of my favorite times of the year.
Yep. And so many freaking good movies, man. I can't wait. So many good movies. Like, I mean, all the new horror stuff, all the old ones we're gonna be talking about, throughout the month. Like, I am super excited.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped. This is gonna be a fun time.
It's gonna be. We got the old movies. We're gonna do all these old movie reviews. If you guys are looking out coming up right now, we're gonna do classic reviews. We're gonna do pretty much one every 5 a week for the next couple of weeks. We're gonna be throwing them all out as much as we can. We got new ones. It's so many movies, so much stuff to talk about. We still got Marvel, and we got the countdown to. To the Black Panther 2.
38 days.
We have that. We have Black Adam. It's so funny. I feel like Black Adam was so mad at Marvel for doing the Deadpool thing. They're like, really, guys? The Rock's in the boardroom. Like, I saw that picture. He's in the boardroom like, why didn't we know this was going on? Why didn't you tell me? Take the spotlight away. But this is where we're going to be doing this whole month. I can't wait. I think next time we do a stream, I'm going to be dressed up as something. I think we're going to do as much as I can.
Fun.
But I think today we're going to start off with House of the Dragons. That's like episode is what I've been waiting for. Exactly what I thought was happening. It just happened. Then, of course, we got to talk about Hocus Pocus 2, which honestly, I got to tell you, before we talk about it and rate it, I loved it.
Just fun. I had a fun time.
Yeah. And I really want to spend some time really talking about the Woman King. It was such a good movie. I can't wait to talk about it. So we're gonna do that. We got some trailers. We got all type of information coming out, and we're gonna have fun, guys. So I think we're gonna jump right in. And
let's do it.
Let's go transition real quick.
All right.
And welcome back to the Spoiler Kings, guys. We're going to talk about House of the Dragon. What did you guys think about this last episode?
Very good.
Yeah, well, I liked it. If I can see, because I don't know if it was just me, because I'm like, why does it look like shit? And I was like, and then I looked online and people were like, yeah, it was dark. I was like, so they didn't learn their lesson. They didn't learn their lesson from last year. Besides that, it was a fun episode. I liked it.
It's a good thing I watched it in the early hours of this morning with all the lights in my place out. Maybe that helped me.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was hard to watch sometimes. Like, not like physically, you couldn't see anything. Like, once the sun like went behind the clouds or the castle or whatever, like, it got really dark. Yeah. Like, I was like, what the hell? I thought it was my TV for a bit.
I felt like it was hard for me to watch in different reasons, because like all the stuff that was going on, I was like, man, this is bad. I'm one of those guys, like, when you get to like one of those embarrassing parts of a movie, I pause it. My wife hates it, so I do it all the time. And I was sitting there watching, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Am I the only one thinking about this? So it was full of wow moments, full of just things that we thought were coming, that we knew were coming, and then it finally hit us, and we were like, this is crazy.
Oh, man, even though we talked about that last week, a lot of stuff in it, especially the last 15, 20 minutes, really blindsided me.
Dude, no pun intended. Even the end of it was so crazy. I was like, wow, this is not what, like, we were talking this whole episode, I'm thinking it's going to go one way, and at the end, it was like, no, we're going over here. It's like, I'm all for it.
Yeah. It was intense, I think, at some point. This was probably my favorite episode so far.
Agree.
Because I don't know if it's really spoilers, but they're at a funeral, and it was so, like you said, it was like hard to watch because everyone was just so angry at each other, or their secrets that you can't talk about, and it was just very like not cringy, but like uncomfortable. It was very
Yeah, like
uncomfortable as a viewer.
yeah,
know?
you're very uncomfortable. You're very
Yeah.
anxious to see what happens next. Everything was, the tension was really like brought up to a fever pitch.
Yeah, it's like you saw the lines being drawn, the battle lines being drawn, and
Yes.
it was like, whoa! Like we saw it the last couple of weeks, but during that funeral, everything was apparent. There's two different sides, and I love Damon's expression, man. He just kind of is watching the world burn around him. He's just so cool. I love
He
that.
looked so satisfied in a way.
I mean, he just lost his wife, and he's just like, I'm Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like shit happens. That's what I felt like. He's like, I don't know. But I think I liked Matt Smith, Damon in this episode. One of the better ones. I like what he did because he was just so chill and in the background, and even like when shit went down towards the end of the episode, and Christian, whoever the fuck the guy's dickhead. I hate him now too.
Yeah, so Kristen.
Yeah, he went in to like bring up the fight, and he's like, oh no.
He said, "You
like,
back up because you don't want it with me."
Yeah, he's like, you let them do what they're gonna do. So I was kind of like I don't know. It was tense the entire time until the end scene where the king is yelling at everybody. And it was just like, fuck. It was
What's the redheaded woman's name again? It keeps slipping my mind.
Oh, Allison? The Queen?
Allison, yeah. She was pissing me off the last 15 minutes of the show.
Last two episodes, man. Allison's been terrible.
It got to where I started yelling at the screen near the end of the episode. Like I was just yelling at characters, just yelling.
You guys see the Will Smith meme with her, where she was like, when she was talking about a look at Damon's children and how black they are, and she was like looking at Rhaenyra's children. She was like, they're not their kids. It's not his kids. That's Lenore's. That is not Lenore's kids. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I think that was the best part. Was like when Aegon was asked, like, where'd you hear these lies? He's like, everyone knows it. What are you talking about? He's like, I didn't hear it from one person. Everybody's saying it. And I think Varys was like, what the fuck?
But and Allison too. They weren't going to say, my mom. They weren't going to put her out there because she's just talking about most. I think that's.
Wait, I think your audio. I don't know if it's me or your audio kind of like cut. It like.
Oh, I heard that too.
Yeah, right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it sounded like a hiss, and then it like.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's Feige knowing I'm going to talk about other stuff, but I think it's Allison that was saying all these things and spreading it is more than anyone. And because she's queen and she's saying these things, she has so much power to go behind it. And I think that's what's really spreading all these things are happening. Mm-hmm. All right. So what did you guys like? What are the most important things that you liked in this episode?
Like I said, the tension of it all and the things that the rising tensions between all of these characters, all the different houses. That was really cool. We had talked about that last week. It was only a matter of time before something like this happened, and it's really going to escalate. Just looking at the way this episode ended, I feel like that paves the way for a lot more escalation next week. I liked how they incorporated the dragon near the end. That was pretty cool.
Dude, that was the most powerful part.
That's the most powerful part. Yeah,
it shifted the power. Like before, the power was on one side and one side only. We knew that. Mm-hmm. But after that, you start seeing the shift. Like, okay, now that we have the biggest and baddest dragon is on the other side. Allison now has control of the biggest and baddest dragon.
Yeah. Which Otto Hightower, obviously he's back, which is annoying. That's what he was like. He's like, oh, your son is right. What he's got is worth 1,000 more what he lost. I was like, but also I was like a little annoyed at the end. So I was like, they're bitching and moaning about who started the fight. Meanwhile, I forgot what the head Valerian guy, I forgot what his name is.
Corlys.
he's like, hey, you're taking my freaking dragon. Like, that's not yours to take. That's gonna be my granddaughter's. And I was like, no one was talking about that. Like, hey, your little bastard, dickhead son stole, my daughter's dragon.
Because he's the king's son.
I guess. But I mean, Varys is such a pushover. You'd be like, hey, no.
I'm surprised he didn't say, at my daughter's funeral, your son threatened my daughters with a rock at my house, in my house.
Yeah.
No one talked about that. Yeah. He did that. I was like,
yeah, I'm like, he should be more mad. It's like, he threatened my granddaughters. He stole my daughter's dragon, who belongs to her daughter, which is, also half Targaryen, so it's just like, I just felt like he was very quiet in it all, especially in his own house. On top of that,
I think he also, because he blamed himself. He was blamed because his wife was blaming him, and he was blaming himself for putting them in that situation. Because he could have saved Lenore at least. Lena was going to do what she was going to do regardless.
Yeah, yeah.
But Lenore, he could have saved him. He knew which way he was. He knew what was going on. Everyone knew what was going on. That's enough. None of these secrets are secrets.
Yeah.
So everyone knows exactly what's going on, but everyone's afraid to say it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I think the thing I liked the most about this was you're starting to see how these groups are forming. You starting to understand, like Daemon is with Lena, Rhaenyra was with Lenore. Now that Lenore and Lena are dead, or one's dead and the other one, catch me if you can. And the way he's going to do, but now they're together, but they also now have the Valyrians behind them. I mean, they have everything. They should be the strongest one. But, Alicent is playing the game. I mean, obviously she went from that naive girl that's just doing her part to now being a powerful, queen.
Bitch.
But she's a queen. She can do whatever the hell she wants because her husband is like on his deathbed. He's been dying for like 15 years. I don't understand how he's still alive. He had like four hairs. It's terrible. Matt Smith looks exactly the same. Damon looks exactly the same. Viserys looks like he's about to die at any point. He looks like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah. We should do a side by side of him and the Crypt Keeper. He looks exactly like him.
Yeah, just with the crown.
He's looking rough, very rough.
I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, that's funny.
That's what I found like the most interesting, and even the whole thing with Daemon and Rhaenyra. Like, she's saying I'm not a child anymore, and all that stuff. But even that wedding part was really cool looking. Is it bad I said that? But it's really cool looking. The old ways when they're cutting and they're sharing the blood and all that stuff. It was crazy. I would love to know what Viserys thinks about his daughter and his brother, marrying without even asking him. But he's probably gonna be dead before we find out. So,
very true. Yeah. I don't know. I actually forgot. I thought I saw a coffin. I'm like, oh my god, is he dead now? Yeah, but not yet. I forgot whose funeral was.
Yeah,
but it's. I think the thing that's interesting is bringing back Otto Hightower as the hand, because he's going to be able to speak for the king if he's unable to speak.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be crazy because now he's basically the king, and like he's the mouthpiece of the king, so he could say things even though the king is not saying it because the king can't even comment on it. So he's going to be in the most powerful position, in all the kingdom.
Yeah. It's like last week's episode irritated me because I'm like, oh, it's just more Game of Thrones shit, and this one though, I'm like, okay, I forgot. I did like that shit, and I was like, because like that's what, like last week it was like, oh, we're doing Game of Thrones backstabbing, like, and all this like crazy shit, and then this week they kind of continued with it, but then you kind of remember like, oh yeah, I forgot that I did like that stuff. Yeah. So, but
What are the things about this episode that you guys did not like, though?
I've said it many times, and even though I'm used to it at this point, and this doesn't necessarily go for just the episode, just as a whole. The time jumps are just very, very jarring to me. I think they're relying a little too much on it for the narrative, for the overall narrative of the show, because it's happening, it's happening quite often, and sometimes it's kind of hard to follow. They just kind of jump into it without saying where exactly they are, and sometimes it's kind of easy to kind of lose track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people complain about the Alicent and the new Alicent, or the Rhaenyra and the new Rhaenyra, and and then why is Daemon look exactly the same? None of this stuff makes sense, but it does to us because we understand what they're doing. I've heard a lot of people complain about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'd say that's my biggest. I think sometimes some of the scene, like the scene with the conflict between the families with Alicent, and that kind of drug on a little too long for me, to the point where it kind of got frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were just basically idling by and giving her these opportunities to get all out of pocket, and it really started to just grind on my nerves.
But who was going to say anything? Because she's queen.
That's true.
The only one that could say it was Viserys. Viserys is the only one that could have said anything, because even it was pretty obvious after Rhaenyra had a baby, and Alicent could say, "Bring me the baby now."
Mm-hmm.
I'm next to the throne, but she's queen right now, so she outranks her today.
Yeah, which I think that was the part I didn't like. I guess that's more last week's episode, but that part where like she outranks her today, but she kind of like forcing her son. She's like, "Oh, you have to become king because I effed this up so much that your sister aunt hates me." You know what I mean? Like, so it's.
And Alicent doesn't see herself as messing stuff up. She doesn't even see it. She thinks it's everybody else. She's pointing to everybody else. Like, I'm like, dude, you could just say okay and it'd been fine. Everything would have been fine. How about you been silent and everything would have been fine? When everyone had you on her side, she would have had a friend and whatever. She just was jealous. That's what I think it comes to. She was just jealous. Oh, I have to sleep with this old man. And you get to sleep with whoever you want. What about your sense of duty? It ain't about your sense of duty. It's the fact that I have to deal with this old man for 20 years and you just doing whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of other bad things besides the lighting in the first half of the episode. There really wasn't too much other bad things.
I had one thing. Laenor is a black guy, right? Then how come when he pulled the dude out of the fire, they didn't even check to see what skin color he was? Because they didn't have this a random black dude just randomly on the side. Like, he's not in the castle. Where did they find this guy? He's just threw a body in. Like, it's like, why is your mom screaming? It's like, did you look? Like, his whole body wasn't in the fire. It just, like, no one checked. It didn't make any sense to me. Like, nobody checked the body. Like, it's like, all right, why are you screaming just assuming that's what happened? No one was there.
Yeah.
How about we figure out exactly what happened? Who did this? What's going on?
Yeah. I wonder if that's going to come back and bite Rhaenyra, whatever her name is. I think that's going to come back and bite her in the butt. Because she's going to be, accusation number one. Like, oh, you did it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have his sons, and now you killed him so you can go marry your uncle.
Well, they saw him fighting with his guy.
Yeah.
So they saw them fighting, and that's why everything kind of went that way. But
yeah,
I still think, what if they find him? What if he decides to come back? What if Rhaenyra wins the whole thing, the whole civil war, because she has Daemon with her? Because her and Daemon are the same guy, same person. So they're just a firework waiting to go off. What if they win, and then Laenor comes back, or that someone finds Laenor? And what happens then?
Yeah, that's a season 3 issue, I think. It's like some, yeah.
Well, with these time jumps, it could be next week. I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of counting on it to be next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that, what do you think is going to happen next?
Oh, well, the inevitable time jump will happen.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't think the series has any more time jumps in them.
and what's his face is going to be like an adult badass with like an eye patch or something like covering his eye.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far the next inevitable time jump's going to be.
I think 3-4 years. In 3-4 years, all those kids will no longer be kids. They will be preteens to adults.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I can see like so 3 to 5 years, because then by then they can have a kid. So you'll have like a little toddler running around, with blonde, white hair.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Andy said the time jumps are pretty jarring. Do they plan to have more than one season? They're going to need a completely new set of characters at this rate.
Yeah, and you got to kind of ask yourself where exactly season 2 is going to take place and how many time jumps they're going to have there. It just seems really narratively over reliant on the time jumps.
Mm-hmm.
I think the time jumps stop when the king dies.
Yeah, I think we might be. I think after the next episode, we should be done with time jumps. I don't see them doing too many more, if at all. They might not even do any more.
The only thing that's relying on these time jumps is really the king and having an heir, and knowing that these kids are going to grow up, and then they're going to be fighting for these positions. So that's what the time jumps are for, because Viserys is not dead; he just hasn't died. So once he's died, I don't see a need for the time jumps anymore, because now the kids, everyone's going to be grown, everyone's going to be fighting for the throne, and this is not going to be something that's going to last for 5 years. This is going to be something that happens, quickly. Now, I think, and that's why I really think what's going to happen for the next episode, that all these two sides are going to be getting ready for the Civil War. They're getting ready. There's two sides. You can see exactly who the two sides are, and they're going to be trying to gather people to be on their side. And they're gathering dragons. They're teaching their kids. They are preparing for war.
Oh yeah, the way, especially the way things ended on this one, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you have Rhaenyra, whatever. I don't know. I still don't know their fucking name. Rhaenyra. The way she was talking at the end was like, "Oh, we gotta cut this. I don't say B word, but yeah, I think she knows. She knows. Okay, she's like, all right, she's not my friend anymore. Because at the beginning of the episode, she's like, oh, Alicent isn't that evil to have people killed. I think now she's like, oh no, F her. Like,
she's gonna do whatever it takes. I mean, she cut him. I can't believe she cut her in front of her dad, and no one did anything. No one knew what to do.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
That's the part where I was yelling at the screen. Like,
no, I wanted someone to punch Sir Kristen. I was like, punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Oh
Somebody.
yeah.
He has such a punchable face to me. I don't know what it is. I could have been back there with a blonde wig. I would punch him in the face. Like, who is this guy? I'm the guy who punches people in the face.
Yeah, I'm not fond on Sir Kristen. He's
yeah. He went from likable to like time skip, and I'm like, oh, you suck. Yeah, they're just sitting there both saying like, oh yeah, she sucks. Yeah, she sucks. Like there's like a little like.
It's like a high school thing. Like the guy that dated her in 8th grade is mad still in high school.
They're in college now.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Rhaenyra is not my favorite person either, because she's just a whore. Is that okay to say? Like, she just, whatever her pleasure is that day, that's what she goes with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it kind of seems like.
I don't know. I mean, she was with what's his name? The other, she's the father, or the other guy was the father of her 3 kids. So,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
I mean, I don't know.
She went to the next person that was easy to sleep with. You're right.
Yeah, like I went him.
But what I did find really interesting, I know we kind of went over time, was that Rhaenyra still had a lot of respect for Laenor.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of respect. It was like she liked him. She genuinely liked him. He's not the thing for her, but she shared her life to this point, and she just enjoyed. I thought they killed him off. Just get to the end. I thought that she killed him, and she was that cold blooded. And then when I saw him at the end, that they really just let him go and live his own life, I was like, okay, I could be a Rhaenyra fan again. And you know, Damon's cold, but he still let him go do his own thing. Mm-hmm. So, and gave him gold and said, "Go be you." That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think he's gonna come back and screw her up. Yeah,
I think someone, so. But if someone sees him, that's
probably.
Yeah. Anything else you guys got for this one?
No. I think that's about it. I'm still processing this episode because like usual, I watched and rewatched it.
Yeah, I watched it, and then I seen him with the scar across his eye. That was pretty badass. Allison, the fact that she sliced Rhaenyra, and what I loved is that when Rhaenyra got sliced on her arm, and the blood's running down, it's like she enjoys. She has no problem with the physical contact. She is just that twisted. She's just like Daemon.
But also I think it was like it proved her point. Like, oh, everyone, look at the blood. This is on her. Yeah. You know, it's like she even said like now they're gonna see you for who you are. You know, like you're not. What she said? You're not behind this veil of justice or whatever the hell she said. Which I love that line she told her.
She cold. There you go. I hope the King's around to the 3rd season. We've been killing him off every episode for like the last 5 episodes. Every episode, like he's dead. He can't live again. Yeah. He's gonna have like one. I'm telling you, he's gonna have one hair. He's gonna look like the Crypt Keeper, and somehow he's still gonna be alive. He ain't gonna be able to talk. Like, and the hands gonna say, Otto's gonna be like, he said, Allison is now queen.
There you go. This is that's gonna be him. There you go. I think I saw a meme where they made him like with the blonde hair.
If he should put blonde hair on it, that would be hilarious. Yeah. So now I'm rooting for him. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, this is great. I'm glad we talked about this stuff. I want to hear what everyone else thinks. I want to hear if you guys have different ideas than we think. You know, think that things too much. Maybe you want Allison to win. Maybe you like her. Maybe you like her little crony that she's going to keep on, paying and giving more power to. Maybe he's going to be the new hand.
There you go.
There it is. That is great. But I just want to hear everyone's comment. If you guys watching the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe and comment. I want to hear you guys. I want to hear what everyone thinks about it. The more comment to keep the conversation going, I think this makes it even better. So, but we're going to move on to the next thing. Welcome back to the Spoiler Kings. It's Halloween, guys.
Oh yeah,
gotta talk about it. I was excited. I know Derpy was excited. I know all you guys are excited. Hocus Pocus 2. They're back. The Sanderson sisters. How'd you guys like the movie, man?
Oh, you want to go right into it?
Yeah, I want to go right. Let's jump
right into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it, Brandon.
It was exactly what I expected. It delivered exactly what I expected. Like we've said so many times, the month of Halloween, I'm just expecting fun. This was a fun time. This was a very fun, entertaining Halloween themed time. And that's exactly what I expected. I had fun with it. I'd say the 29-year wait was worth it. It was a fun ride. It was a fun ride. Hour and 40-minute ride.
Yeah, it was a good time.
The Sanderson sisters, You know, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy still played off each other just as well as they did all those decades back. It's like they didn't skip a beat, and you could tell through her performance. Bette Midler's been waiting for this. You know, there's a reason she's always gone on record and said in interviews that the first one was the most fun she's ever had making a movie, because it really shows.
You think of the movie, you think of Bette Midler. I mean, that's just what it is. You think of her first.
Yeah, like she is Hocus Pocus, basically. I did like the three teenager characters. Dare I say, maybe a little bit more than Max, Danny, and Allison from the original. You know, I know that might sound a little blasphemous since they're the OG crew, but you know, there's a
they win because they have the cat that talks.
Say what?
They have what was his name?
What is his name?
But a lot of problems could have been solved in the original if Binks would just talk.
Binks.
Yeah, Binks.
Situations.
Yeah.
I liked that they didn't like shove the whole virgin subplot.
He's just like, why would they only have one candle?
Yeah,
it's just like, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Okay. Yeah, I had fun with it. It was a really fun time.
What do you think, Tank?
Yeah. I'm there, man. I was the same. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It felt like a true sequel. You know what I mean? Like it. Because people forget what the first one was. You know, and I know you guys did a review on it. It's corny, over the top, cheesy, like this like a fun, goofy time for kids. You gotta remember, it's for kids. You know what I mean? Like you have the zombie guy walking around and stuff like that, and him losing his head. You know, and they bring that back. So it was like I felt like they brought a lot back that was there 29 years ago, but it also like updated it with some of the newer stuff. You know, with like their brooms, for instance. I thought that was amazing. Because the original one was, you know,
a vacuum cleaner.
The vacuum cleaner with a broom, a mop.
A broom, a mop, and a vacuum cleaner.
You know, so you know, obviously we get the broom again because you know Bette Midler is the main one, and then we get a Swiffer, a jet Swiffer, which was funny. You know, but then what's the new vacuum? No one has a vacuum anymore. They have Roombas. And I thought her on them was hilarious. I know. Yeah, we'll get into what other people are thinking about it, but I thought that was so funny because she's like surfing. I think at one point she even says cowabunga, which is it was so stupid, but it was like so funny. It made no sense, but it was like okay, it's like surfboards kind of thing. But you know, I thought that was perfect, you know. And then she's like, "Oh, they have mind of their own," you know, which is what people will say who have Roombas. They're like, "Oh yeah, they kind of do what they want." You know, and they were their own kind of little characters in the movie as well, which was
like my children.
Yeah, you know, like her little pets almost, you know. So I don't know, but I just thought it was exactly what I expected, like, you know, something like Brandon, and I went corny, over the top, silliness, and this is what it was. I think with maybe better graphics, you know. So yeah.
Oh, one more thing. I did like that they showed a more sympathetic side of the Sandersons, particularly Winifred. I liked that. I liked that, and I like that they went into a little more of their backstory from the beginning. Like the opening 10 minutes, I thought were great. Also.
No, you're done because you're gonna take all my stuff before I say it. Just take all my stuff. I was like, dude, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, go for it.
I was glad we got the Sanderson sister because I think the backstory was the thing that made the movie work.
Yeah,
because it wasn't just a copy and paste. It was an actual sequel. They had reasons to do stuff. They brought new characters and it all made sense. And then they had that Queen Witch. That was so cool. And then understanding how they learn things, and even like, you know, that the other witch was still around. Though the Sanderson sisters were gone, she was still around. She was there before them, and she's there after them. All those things made sense because now what you've done is allowed us to, if everyone loves this movie, you can get a Hocus Pocus 3 because we have other candles, we have other characters. You know, that doesn't matter if they're a virgin or not, even though she was, but they didn't hit you over the head. But they really hit you over the head with her being a witch and having that witch power. And I thought that was also good too. So it brings what happened with the Sanderson sisters, and you know, having that, and brings into the modern day, saying when you turn 16, this could happen to you. You could become a witch. And what we see now as a witch is different than they saw in the 1700s, 1800s, or 1790s, whatever. I thought that was really good, a really good combination for it. And as you said, the movie worked because they brought all those elements in.
Yeah,
it just wasn't just one thing. It wasn't just a copy and rinse and repeat, but it was new stuff with enough nostalgia, along with a good story that made sense. And that was me and Brandon's whole point when we said when talking about the first one. I hope the second one makes sense, and it did.
It expanded on things. It did what a sequel should do. Yeah. And I like that they also showed more of the Sandersons doing more kind of witchy stuff and kind of because really all we saw of them was like Winifred with her Palpatine lightning, which was cool, and doing stuff with her book. But I resurrecting Billy Butcherson, I like that they showed like a couple more kind of powers from.
Did it really resurrect him, or he just never went to sleep?
He never went to sleep
for 29 years.
Oh no, I'm talking about in the first one when she resurrected.
Okay. Oh yeah.
No. He even said he was asleep, and it was basically like the 29 years between the first one and this one was just a few minutes to him.
He woke up. He was like, why are you here? What's going on?
Again? Yeah. One thing. So I watched this. We did a watch party. And we did it with Derpy, so shout out to Derpy for hosting the watch party. And I don't got my soundboard. I got to fix that. But I think I paused it a few times, and I paused it because I can send it to my TV so I can watch it with my girlfriend. So we went up watching that, and she was even saying, at the end, she goes, this is a better like sister love story than Frozen. She goes, this is like a dark one, and she goes, and it felt more like sisterly love, because it's not all like I love you too. It was more like, you're a dumbass, you're a dumbass too. Like, don't say that to me, But at the end, the love is still there, So
he had all the power in the world. She was the most powerful witch ever. Yeah. Gave it up because it didn't matter because I didn't have my sisters there. Yeah. So I complained about them, but because you saw the backstory, you understood how much you thought they loved each other, but you really understood how much they loved each other because they got into this whole problem because you tried to take their sisters away from her. Mm-hmm. That was such a big thing. And then now she has all the power that she's been looking for. And once again, try to take her sisters away. I would rather die with them. I'd rather be with them than have all the power in the world. That's I almost had a tear. I was like,
it was a really good ending.
It showed Winifred in a more sympathetic light because in the first one notoriously kind of framed it like she couldn't stand her sisters.
Yeah.
But
now you understand. Like that's the older sister. She's just the older sister who loves them.
Yeah, being the boss kind of thing.
Yeah. It showed her in a more sympathetic light.
Yeah.
So. If they do make Hocus Pocus 3, and hopefully if they do, hopefully it's not another 29-year wait.
I don't think they'll still be here.
Maybe that's something that could be explored more. Maybe they'll show them in even more sympathetic. Oh, maybe they're not so bad kind of light.
Or
I don't know.
Maybe they have a 16-year-old candle thing. And they have 3 girls do it again because they're sisters. Like they're not real sisters, but they really are sisters together. And Hocus Pocus 3 is going to be about having a coven and how to really create one and watching them show someone else the new age how to do it.
Yeah. So it's not about the Sanderson sisters. It's more about the new, the new.
How to get that from them. And they're going to teach us how they got their thing together and how to really be real true sisters.
Yeah. Another thing that I really liked was I know you said like if it made sense, and that was one thing I'm like, how are they going to bring him back? And they did it really, really well with what's his name? Gibson, I think his name, or Gilbert. Yeah, with Gilbert. You know, and it's just like, oh, he was there, he saw them, and he became a fanboy and wanted to bring them back. And I was like, and then Book helped him do it, which is even better. You know, I was like, of course, you know, then he's in their old house and he has Book, you know, and he understands Book, you know, so he strapped it down. And I was like, oh, this it makes sense. It's not overly complicated. You need to, you know, go through multiverse or anything stupid, you know. Very simple, you know, and it worked. It worked.
It felt very simple. It was an organic way to kind of tie the two together, to kind of you know, to kind of form that connective tissue. That worked for me very, very well.
Is there anything about the movie that you didn't like?
There were elements of it that were almost kind of blow by blow, just kind of recreations of its predecessor. You know, the music sequence, which you could kind of argue, if you're going to put Bette Midler in a movie, you're going to have a music sequence. So on one hand, I kind of rolled with it, but you know, it had similar beats to the first one that included, you know, even the final conflict taking place in the woods or near like a graveyard, that sort of
I didn't
thing.
mind that because the woods at least made sense from the story. But
It
that
did.
music thing, you're 100% right. Because I mean, but I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. Her version of it is almost bigger than anyone else's version of it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what the song was. So it's hard to recreate that magic.
Yeah,
I think I also preferred this version of One Way or Another to Blondie's, because I like, much as I've always liked Blondie, One Way or Another is like one of the few songs that I absolutely can't stand.
I was gonna say, it's really funny. I'm sorry, it was really funny. Like saying with the song though, they still put the same words from the first one.
Yeah, like the spell they were casting.
You know, so I'm like, that was super cool. So it's like, yeah, it's a different song, but it's the same spell. So it's, you know, it has very similar words. So, you know, which it could, like you say, it could be a little bit good and bad. It's, you know, because is it a little too much like the first one? But like you said, you have Bette Midler, you got to have at least one. Yeah, I think this one had 2, you know, music scenes in it. So
yeah. So. And I think the Walgreens product placement was a little weird for me.
I loved it. I loved it. Because, oh, look, a baby's face. She's a newborn. I was like, that's hilarious. They start eating it. I love them going to Walgreens. And then I was watching another video. I guess them going into a convenience store, like a Walgreens, was a deleted scene from the first one. So that was kind of interesting. So they like, oh, let's do it. I loved it when they went to the beauty products and then they took a picture with the kids and it had the filter. And I'm like, oh, that's, you don't even think about it anymore. You know, of course, like they're like, oh my God, I look amazing. You know, I was like, yeah, it's a filter. So
have them babies in this. This is crazy.
How many baby stools are in there? You know, that whole I love that because I was cracking up the whole time. You know, especially when she has the mask. She goes, oh, look, a baby face. She goes, ah. And she like laughs. She goes, oh, newborn.
Oh,
chomping at it.
That's terrible.
I don't know. But you know, that is a thing I hear a lot. Is a lot of people didn't like that scene.
I thought that was hilarious. It was a little long, but I thought it was funny.
I think it was drawn out. There were parts of it I had fun with. Excuse me. I think for me it may have been a little bit drawn out. It wasn't enough to hurt the movie at all. But
now that we're talking about this, how about you guys? How about we rate this? You guys want to rate this?
We can rate it.
All right. Well, with Spoiler Kings, guys, we rate things a little bit differently. We have it a now, which is you need to stop what you're doing. Don't stop our stream, but stop wherever you're doing and go out there and watch it right now. We got later. It's good, you know, whenever you get a chance to stream it, you know, this we will watch it, or never. You would not turn on the TV. If it was on TV and you went through it and clicked on it, you will eventually turn off your TV just because you don't want anyone to see it. That's what never means. So with that being said, what do you guys rate Hocus Pocus 2?
You go, Brandon?
Yeah, I'll go. Oh, we're in Halloween season. This is a now. You know, this is a now. especially for the month of October. You got to. This is required watching, as far as I'm concerned, for the month of Halloween. Especially if you're just looking for a fun time. If you're into Halloween like the three of us are, this is a required watch. You know, Stream it on Disney Plus, borrow your friend's password, do whatever you have to do. Watch
All
this
of
one.
those words that Brady are saying are not part of the Nerd Huddle. Do not come after us and look for the Nerd Huddle. We're not saying share passwords at all.
Watch it legally. Share passwords with your family.
Yeah. Do
Or
watch
close
parties.
Do
Watch
watch
parties.
parties.
Do a watch party. Do it within the bounds of reason.
On the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Do it within the bounds of reason. No illegal downloadings. No Fire Stick. Nothing like that. But watch it now.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll go next. I probably got to give it a now as well. I think the first one is definitely a now, like without doubt. And I think you can just continue with this one. As soon as number one's done, you put this one on, and I think it's you're gonna have the same vibe, and yeah, it was fun to watch. I think the ending was a better ending than the first one, I thought. People cried. People said they cried. I mean, you're not sitting there crying, bawling your eyes out. You get a little watery, especially like there are, girls out there who lost their sisters and stuff. And I saw them post. They're like, "Oh, that hit me deep." You know what I mean? Because they understand that feeling of like sister love and also like losing a sister. And that was like, oh, I don't think no one knew where it was gonna go at the end like that. You thought like, Turn to Stone or Sunrise again. It was like, oh no, this is choosing each other over living, so definitely a now, especially like you said in Halloween time.
Yeah. In addition to that, and I'll let you get to it as well, Brian. One thing that I was really, really happy about with this is, and Brian and I were talking about this on Friday with the first one. The whole reason that this movie happened was because of the fan base. Mm-hmm. Like this gained a really, really big cult following due to reruns on the Disney Channel and ABC Family. Before it was called Freeform or whatever it's called now. So I feel like the filmmakers, the writers, and the director Ann Fletcher, Mittler, Sanderson, and Najimy, they all really took that into account in crafting this sequel. Making it satisfactory enough for the fans, I thought. So they really handled it with care. They could have just crapped it out sideways and be like and have been like, here's your sequel, watch it.
And we lost him. Yeah. Oh yes. Okay. I gotta say, I'm gonna definitely give it a now, but in a lot of ways, honestly, from my own opinion. So I watched with Derby. I watched the Hocus Pocus one. We watched that on the same type of way, a watch party. And Derby asked me a question. He said, "Does this movie hold up today?" And I said it was really just kind of, it's very hokey. Kids today probably would not, watch it the same way. And I really feel like this movie is only about 35 to 40-year-olds are really the ones who watch this movie still because it's part of our childhood. This movie brings it to the new generation, but it also still held on for us 35 to 40-year-old kids to enjoy it because they held true to what it is to be Hocus Pocus.
Exactly.
I think that is a very big thing. But it gave you new story, and in a lot of ways, the story was better. This story, with the backstory and understanding the sisterly love, is better than the first one. And I love that part. I don't know if the friendship, the brother-sister thing from the first one is better, because you're fighting for your sister, your little sister. That's better than that first one. But in this one, the Sanderson sisters meant so much. And because of those things, I mean, this is not just a now. this is probably one of my favorite movies I've watched. Any remakes I've watched in a long time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Or
it's not a
a
remake,
solid
like it's a
sequel.
sequel, but it's even Halloween. Like I haven't seen the one like I've enjoyed this much
Mm-hmm.
in a long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely a now for me.
Okay. Well, then, real quick, or since we're done with the ratings, so the first thing I did, I know, well, after the watch party, we did it.
Yep.
I was like, what are people saying about it? You know, because I think right after it, you know, I know Derpy loved it, you know, and then after the watch party, we were like, we love it, you know, and we went online, and it's not getting good praise.
Yep.
You know, people are saying it's stupid, it sucks. Like the Roomba thing was stupid, the songs were stupid, it was too corny, too cringy. And I think I said it after the watch party. It was like, did you not watch the first one?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
did you not watch the first one? It was like the first one was corny and cringy, and them doing stupid, silly things. You know, it's like it's a kids movie. You know, and then two, it's a goofy movie. You know, it's a silly
Yeah,
movie.
it was the same hokey tone as the first one. You're not, you know, you're not going into a Hocus Pocus movie expecting Christopher Nolan. You know?
exactly, man. You know,
I think people are just haters nowadays, and that's why I'm saying, you know, holding up, people just hate on stuff. There's always got to be someone saying something stupid. Oh, this is not good, or this was so stupid to do this, or this is so woke to do this. It's always someone saying those type of things. So
Exactly.
you're never going to please everyone. My only worry is that the rating would stop people from watching it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that.
So we're talking about rating. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 61%.
Mhm.
Critics, right?
Critics don't like it.
What's the audience? Because I thought I when I first saw that, I'm like, oh wow, that sucks. But the audience has got to be high, right? And
No.
yeah,
The audience is actually giving it 55%.
yeah, which is insane. You know, because how I see it is like in '93 when we were younger, our parents and grandparents and the adults then were saying this movie's stupid. It sucks. It's corny. Bette Midler ruined her career. You know, who the Sarah Jessica
Parker's never going to do anything.
Who she, yeah. And then, you know, it becomes a cult classic. But now it's like now we're the adults, and so many of our generation are saying what our parents said back then. It's
you know, but I gotta say, do you remember Hocus Pocus did terrible in the movie theaters?
Yeah, it was a summer release. You know, who was trying to see a Halloween themed movie during the middle of summer? Yeah, it tanked, and like I said, it just gained a big cult following on reruns, which I'm actually happy that it did. I actually, and like I said, I used to scare really easily as a kid, and I remember seeing the trailer and being creeped out by the trailer. But then I saw it. I can't remember if I saw it in the theater or if I saw it when it came out on video. But I ended up absolutely loving it and watching it quite regularly. And it's just really amazing to me, you know, how the fans basically breathe new life into it after the fact. I think that's really cool.
I think that's what happened before. And I think what happens that fans love to see things burn, and they just want to.
Yeah, and you know, which is really unfortunate. It's so easy to go online and complain and piss and moan and be toxic. You know, I'm not saying you have to like the movie, but it just seems like any and everything. There's someone complaining about something. It just I'm almost at the point where I'm trying to like progressively ignore it because it's just getting way too toxic, and hell, it's a chore to read.
Yeah. It gets a little much on Twitter, but it's weird. Like on Twitter, like I'll look it up, and it's like for every like bad review, people are saying it's stupid. Like there's a lot of people are like, oh, I liked it, I enjoyed it. This was funny. It's good because it's silly. You know, like the first one.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah, it had the same campy, silly nature of the first movie. And people were complaining about that. Just like you said, Tank, like, do you even first movie, bro?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we think about the movie, guys. I want to know what you guys think.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to get some comments in. I think this is one of those things that we have Halloween. I want comments this entire time. We're going to release this video. I want to see what you guys really think. I want you guys to like, subscribe, because that helps us get more content out there. But if you really love this movie, tell us. If you really hate this movie, I want to hear. I want to hear why you hate it or not hate it. I think this is one of those things that I was able to share with my children. I want to know if you're going to do the same thing with your kids. So, as I said, us 35 to 40-year-olds, this is what it is now, man. We love this stuff. Can we now share with another generation? But let me know what you guys think. Put in the comments. Me, Tank, and Brandon were always looking in, always trying to answer. So let us know. And we're going to go to another topic. So thanks, guys, for watching this. And here we go. And we're back. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. We're going to talk about the Woman King.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, I did not make it to the theater to see this one, so I'm going to be the spectator probably in this instance.
I just want to hear what you guys want to say about this, because honestly, a lot of people didn't go see this movie. And what I have to say first is that this movie might be the best movie I've seen all year, period.
Really?
Same. It's up there. It's up there.
Yo,
it's up there.
I got Maverick up there, and then I have this. It's literally that good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to see it because for me it's Maverick and Nope.
This is better than Nope. Like literally, I'm pretty sure no matter what happens with Wakanda Forever, I'm gonna like this more.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, in everyone, I mean, all the characters. This is it's so good. But this is me talking. Tank, what did you think about it?
Man, it was really good. Well, first of all, we did a trailer reaction, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, blah 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 blah." I took this as I took 300. The action was very kind of similar tone with certain things, but also 300 isn't a like biopic of what actually happened between the Spartans and that's not exactly what happened. There's they took a lot of liberties and changed it for the story. I feel like they might have done this with the same. I don't know too much of the history with Dormammu, but it's
the homie people.
So that's why I took it. So it's a good point to like, hey, go look at your own history and see how it is. But
still, I would say it wasn't available internationally until this past weekend. So I know that affected the numbers, but the numbers still just, I mean, for a $50 million budget, it's going to take them weeks to make $50 million.
That's it? 50 mil?
People want him to be part of this.
Yeah.
I mean, John Boyega himself should make, 15 million. And then you got Viola Davis too.
Yeah. Also, well, one thing I really, really didn't like was, you knew that's John Boyega, but I didn't see John Boyega. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see Finn. I didn't see these other characters. Like, he did it really well. Same thing with Viola Davis. I didn't see the Suicide Squad. What's her name?
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller. I didn't see that. You know what I mean? One, she got really jacked for this movie. I mean, granted, she wasn't like six pack, but she was.
She's 50-some years old.
Yeah.
But, even about that was so cool, because though she was powerful and she was amazing, she still was a woman. She still had emotions, and she was well-rounded. And that's what I really liked about it. It wasn't just showing you one side of it. It was giving you multiple sides, multiple views of the same thing. Yeah. And that's what made it more powerful for me, because I can look at her and see my mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can look at Lashana Lynch and see my wife.
Yeah. Which speaking like her, I'm like, why does she look so familiar? Well, I'm like, why does she look so familiar? You know, and because I couldn't see because they played these characters so well. And then I looked it up. I'm like, holy shit, it's Maria Rambeau.
Yeah.
I was like, of course she's a badass, man. She was a badass in
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. She was in Multiverse Madness,
Illuminati. But
but
I couldn't put my finger. I'm like, she looks really familiar. And then I looked at, I'm like, holy shit! Like, so that's one thing I really did was like these actors did their job with acting, and I didn't see. You know, like The Rock. The Rock is always The Rock. You know, John Cena is always John Cena. These people are actors, like legit. They became these roles and these people, and that was one thing I really did, because every time Viola Davis was on screen, I didn't see any of her other roles. I just saw her, you know, or this character, you know, how badass she was, and you know, and her story of well, the whole movie for me was two stories. Was her as the warrior, and her as a woman, you know, and I really get why it was called the Woman King now, you know, but
that's part of their culture too.
Yeah, the culture too, but it also had another meaning too, you know, like, you know, this leader of not only men but warriors, and then but also she's, you know, I don't know, it was so awesome.
I gotta say, I love the part when they walk through the village, the villagers are not allowed to look them in the eye. You must bow your head in respect to these women. That's how much they loved them, how much they honored them. They did it because of her. And all the warriors kept on saying, I think it was Amenza. Amenza kept on saying, they're there for you. Yeah. They tell Viola, or you know, what's her name? Naniska.
Yeah.
So kept on saying, they're here for you. This is amazing because of you. And that was just so powerful. And then she's still dealing with her own demons, but still being powerful and still being strong. And then that part where they went to go back and capture go free their other women, the other members.
Yeah.
The fact that the male from the other not tribe, but the other
it was like tribe
military
or the empire. I think there was like the whatever empire.
But not just the one that was part of them. You know, he was the male part. You know, because they had the female guard, and then we had the male guard, and he went with them. I thought that was even cold too. So she was not just leading the women; she was leading men. Men were following her. They respect her that much, and she has so much confidence. She talked about the king with the king. Says the king listens to me. The king listens to me because I've earned that.
Yeah,
I helped put him in place. And he said, my brother did not do this. My brother sold my mother into slavery. That's what they said. That's what's crazy. And that's why the whole coup happened. You know, having those things happen, I mean, it was very powerful. If you know about slavery, a lot of that stuff happened. It was and people looking for power, people looking for money. And for her to say, we don't have to do this anymore. As I said, as you said, Tank, they're taking liberties. Well, we don't have to do it because we can sell palm oil. You know, they're taking liberties. Don't get me wrong. They are. But it was good in the movie. I enjoyed the movie. I was able to see myself in a lot of it, and it's really big. You know, and there's not a lot of movies. I say this all the time. So not a lot of movies where you can see yourself, especially past movies. So seeing a culture and see yourself in it, a past culture as far as Black people, because it's always, you know, gathered around chattel slavery in America, and this is in Africa before the, you know, in the middle of the slave trade, but it gives you an idea of how this happened and give you more of a culture that you had a culture before slavery. Mm-hmm. They were here for years beforehand. And I think that was strong enough. I really love that.
Yeah. There was one thing I think Viola Davis and John Boyega were talking about, what was it? Something about like selling your own, like selling your family. I think it was that same scene. And he's like, oh, you know, we're not going to sell our own. And she goes, I'm not talking about just a village. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, that was really powerful.
The same people. I was like,
yeah, that was a super powerful moment. But but I think as I understood it, this was towards the end, because the tribe that they were in, they did do the slave trade and stuff like that. But I think this was towards the end when they were done. They were like, no, this is not right. We now know it's not right, and we're gonna stop. And the Portuguese guy, I forgot what his name was, but he was telling the king almost like a threat. He goes, hey, if you stop doing this,
Santo.
Yeah. It's like, you stop doing this, no one got your back. You're only powerful because you're doing this. And then John Boyega turned around. And he goes, "Oh, really?" He goes, "I'm only powerful because of that." Yeah,
you're only safe because you're here. Because I'm saying it's okay for you to be here.
Yeah, So it was just it was something. But man, it was there's some parts where you're like really like. I don't know, like frustrated, you're like, like not in a bad way. You're like, oh, that sucked. More is like, you're like, you can't believe this like happened in real life kind of shit, and it's, messed up. But one thing I gotta say, Jimmy, Oduke, who did Oba, who was the bad guy from the other tribe. That was like
a wonderful job.
Ooh, he was a badass.
Oba was so bad.
You wanted to hate him, but holy, that dude was huge. He was a big dude, man. And he did that role, that part so bad of being this bad guy, and he did it so good, man. And it reminded me of like M'Baku, because the same thing, he was the bad guy. Well, this guy was the bad guy. M'Baku was kind of and become good, but also a big, threatening kind of guy. I was like, man, like this guy was. You hated him, man. He was so good, man, and he was a cocky son of a bitch. I was like, oh man. He was so arrogant and cocky, and he played that role so good. And I really enjoyed. And so, and then the whole twist. I don't want to spoil it.
Yes, I don't want to tell.
Twist at the end, kind of thing.
The young girl is the young girl part is such a big part of it, and I don't want to talk too much because I want you to go see. I want people to go see this movie.
Yeah, I know, because this is. I wanted to go see it anyway. Just couldn't find the time this weekend, but now I'm probably going to end up going.
I'm going to say my favorite part. So, Brandon, if you don't want to hear this, put earmuffs on or whatever, because this is my favorite part of the entire movie. So, there's a part where he has to Obe. He's asking for more people. He goes, "I want some of your warriors," and she goes, "All right, I'll give you 20." She picked out 20, and the whole time she's like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this." And it kind of sucked. And I'm like, "Damn!" So they're there, and then they're in front of Obe, and he's like, "Oh, you're not really warriors. You're women. Our warriors are gonna do stuff with you." And she goes, "Oh, we're not here for an offering. We're here to tell you to go fuck yourself." And she kicks that bucket or that basket, and all heads roll out.
All the heads roll out all over her.
I jumped out of my seat. I'm like, "Holy shit, she's a fucking badass." That was so cold-blooded. I love that. And she just started like, oh, that was the moment where I'm like, oh, this movie is a whole nother level of like badassery, because like she was so fucking cool in that moment, man, because she just kicked it over and the heads roll out and she's like, yeah, fuck you. I was like, damn, that was so cool.
She is cool. I love Izuki. I mean, of course, we talk about Lashana Lynch. The character Izuki was so cool, so badass. That's the part when you see in the trailer with the guy having the spear in his shoulder and her having a spear on her shoulder, and she's the one walking forward. She is that powerful in the entire movie. It's so big, and her power really, goes to all the other ones. So now we, the younger one that's kind of focused on, really learns her power from her, and then she's able to return the favor, and it's unbelievable. But things still happen. It's not a fairy tale. This is not a fairy tale. Things don't happen in a fairy tale way, and I love that part too. And guys, if you can't see how excited I am about this movie, it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, that was something else. Well, at the beginning, my girlfriend had asked, she goes, "Is this a sad movie?" I'm like, it's dealing with the slave trade in Africa. I was like, probably not. Like you said, it's not a fairy tale, but it definitely had a really, really good story, and really like the action. The action was amazing. It's
even their final thing that they went through, that was huge. That was amazing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So we're gonna rate it, but I'm just saying, come on. Yo, here at the Spoiler Kings, we rate things a little bit differently. We do now. Get up right now. Go out and go watch the movie right now. Later, this is something we're gonna stream when you have some time. If it's Thanksgiving, you're gonna go stream something. Go ahead, stream it then or never. Don't even turn your TV on. If you see it on, go outside. That's how we rate these things. Tank, where do you rate this?
Oh, this is a now, man. This is now. I'm telling you, Brandon, you got to go watch this right now, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like after work tomorrow, like go to the theater. It was really, really good, man. It was really good, and it's so annoying that a lot of these comments that I see were just like, oh, well, actually, I was like, shut up, man. Like it's not a full-on history lesson. It's kind of like a starting point, and then they kind of like take liberties, like you said. Same thing what 300 did. You didn't have all these like, like, oh, also, for 300 people,
it wasn't actually 300 people, just so you knew.
Yeah, like, oh, well, actually, this person was actually blah blah blah, and they actually did this. It's like, I don't fucking care. Like, it was a badass movie. This was a badass movie. Great story. It was really two really great stories that were kind of constantly like weaving into each other and out of each other. So like there were some parts they crossed and some parts like the stories were separate, but everything it flowed really well. The like everything about it was just so good. The acting was amazing with Viola Davis, John Boyega, Lashana Lynch, I thought was, like you said, was really good. It was just everything about it.
Sheila Tim, she was great because even being supportive, she was such a great supportive friend.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah. So it was really, really good. And there's a lot of if there's one thing, if anything, this movie showed you like there's a lot of more like black actors, that could be put out there. But funny enough, like Chillmonger was on a stream. I don't know if he's still in here. He was doing a stream, and a little bit I caught that was like, I believe Theo B was on there, and they were saying like, name other black actors. This whole movie is filled with them. Like Jimmy Oduke or
John Boyega doesn't jump right off the screen immediately. Off the tongue, immediately, because he's been in all these things. He's a great actor, but people don't think about it. So
but he's a name that I think people know. I mean, there's some of these other ones like like Jimmy.
Feels like still here.
Jimmy, I want to see him. I want to see him in a comic book movie. Either DC, Marvel. I don't give a shit. He's got that physical body type, the acting chops. He needs to be a superhero. He's physically big enough and I think skilled enough as an actor to be in one of these movies. Like I want to see him in more stuff. Obviously we got Maria Rambeau, Lynch in there. So it's just a bunch of great actors, and everyone was jacked, man. The Warriors were jacked. Like you said, Viola Davis being almost 60 and her being that big. There's one part where she's like leaning and they show like her back, and you're like, God damn, man. We're talking about shoulder and working out and stuff, pre-show.
I was like, man, I don't know if I can do that with you, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, she definitely put in a lot of work, physically to be there, to be a warrior like that. So but great acting all the way around, man. The Queen, I love the Queen. Very Game of Thronesy. Very Game of Thronesy was yeah. So yeah, it's definitely now, man. You gotta go watch it.
I'm obviously, you guys know I want to say now because you can see how I feel about these things. My biggest thing is when you have a black movie like this, you have to support it, because the reason why these movies get made is because they make money. You have to make sure these things make money, or you're not going to get any more stories like this. Not going to get a movie where you have all these black people in it doing a wonderful job. You need to support things like this. I don't think think about Africa, you don't think about the beauty. And that's why I kept on coming. Even the Warriors, even though they're warriors, they were beautiful. They're strong. They're athletic. And that meant so much to me. And what's her name? Nawi. So Nawi is the little girl. They kept on saying she's a wonderful warrior, but she's beautiful. She's so beautiful. I would make her one of my wives if I could right now, but she's too skilled. It's like seeing those things and hearing those positive messages means something. But also seeing that her father gave up on her and gave her to the king also means something. So it's very strong. It's me. All those things are important to understand for female culture, for Black culture, for all those things, and we have to support this movie because of those things. It's important to everyone. Understand, when you don't support things, they don't give us another chance. It's not like, oh, we'll see the next movie. There is no next movie.
Mhm.
That's why I keep on trying to hammer home to everybody. There is no other opportunity. And you really want to be able to enjoy these things because these stories are powerful. And you want to see yourself represented. And I hope everyone gets a chance to go out there and really see it.
Yeah.
But of course, as I said, now, right now. Matter of fact, Brandon, you can get up right now. Go find a movie right now.
Yeah. It's definitely, like you said, it's very beautifully shot. I mean, there's the part like in the trailer, she's running, and it's just her, and just the scenery was really nice. Even the final shot, just the women, standing there looking out to the sea, it was very, very beautifully shot and stuff like that. So yeah, it was very well done.
So Viola says she wants to do missions with Task Force X.
Shit.
Hey,
I mean,
yes. Okay. I'm for it. Let's do this thing. I mean, I want people to see themselves as more. It's more than what we see right now, and this is an opportunity for that. And if you really want to talk about Rotten Tomatoes, so the audience is giving it a 99%. The audience is giving it a 99%. Come on, what the hell? So I that's unbelievable. Even the critics are giving it a 91. So, guys, we're not blowing just smoke. This is an unbelievable movie. We need to go support it. I wish it got more hype. I really do.
Yeah, it does suck that like something like Top Gun is getting a lot of hype, which I love Top Gun. I love Top Gun. And I saw that in theater a few times. I think most people did. This one, I want to see it again. I really want to try. I mean, having a baby kind of restricts like, hey, let's go theater right now. Otherwise we would. But because I would want to see it in IMAX. If it is, because I didn't see it in IMAX. I think I do, just for the fight scenes.
So
but yeah, it's definitely a movie I want to see again. And I really want to try to see it again before like it stops showing in IMAX and Avatar takes over every IMAX screen.
I mean, we're gonna get Black Adam too. So I mean, you're gonna get so many things. Black Adam, then you're gonna get Wakanda Forever. We're gonna have all those things. I have multiple different feelings for all that stuff, but this I don't. I have one feeling. Go see it. I want you guys to go see it. I want to hear comments about it when you have seen it. I want to tell me if you loved it like I loved it, or if you disagree with me because it's not exactly what's right in the history books, which is not really the right story either. So I hate when people say history because it's his story. It's going to be based on the person who wrote it. So whatever. I just want to hear what everyone wants to say. I enjoy this. I enjoy this movie. Please go out there and support it. Let me know what you guys think, and we're gonna go on to another topic. So, thanks guys for listening, especially my rant. And welcome back. I think it's time for us to do some trailers. Do you got any trailers to do for today?
Oh, I wonder what trailer released today.
Dropped today.
Yeah, I wonder what trailer dropped today.
Oh man,
that just a few people are talking about.
Just a few, couple of streams that I was watching. I really enjoy watching. I love watching them. People with creators and stuff. All the content. I love watching it.
Yeah.
Same.
I like watching. Some of the bigger guys. I know a lot of people have different feelings about John Campea. Yeah. I'm curious to see what he says, but I'm really curious to see like smaller streamers too. I like to see that.
I was watching Chill earlier, so I mean, I love watching these things. I love
by the time I woke up, the trailer had already dropped. I think a few of the guys like Chill, K Dot, a few John Campia, they already made reactions. I was like, and I just woke up. I was like, God damn it, you know? It was like,
Right.
you know,
Well, we gotta get bigger so we can do this for real.
yeah, I know. You know, but granted, I woke up at 10 because of the baby. He let me sleep a little bit, so I'm like, I'm taking it. But yeah, I woke up and I'm like,
you sleep when he sleeps. That's just what it is.
exactly. So that's
You know,
why
I got the notification during work. I was sitting, just zoning out at my computer. I thought about like, I'll watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna take a couple minutes and watch it. Ended up watching it during my lunch break.
Dude, I pulled over. I was driving to the next restaurant. I was like, oh, really? It's coming up? Oh, the House of Nerd Show. What's up, Nerd Show?
House of Nerd in the house. How you doing? Thanks for joining.
Real quick, man. Those guys over there, man. Every time they have a live show or something on, they're always talking about like these awesome comic books, man.
That's why I love that.
I gotta get back into like really like reading comic books again. It was like shit. That sounds cool, man. It was like,
you know what I do? Even if I don't get a chance, I still every Friday I go buy 4 comics. Just every Friday, I just can't help it. I need to go find something else. I got like 2 drawers full of them.
Yeah, because I expected it when I heard tickets would release today. I didn't even know. Like, well, one, I'm probably out of the loop a little bit, but I didn't even know tickets were getting released today. But
yeah, I did. And
that makes sense.
I was watching everything always, and he was saying most likely this trailer is gonna come out Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, when tickets come out.
Yeah.
I don't know any other trailer.
Yeah, it almost feels like that was like the one and only, or at least the major one.
Well, let's watch this one, and then let's see if we can find anything else.
We're already almost an hour and a half, so. Let's see. And I got to edit like a couple of videos before. And you know, we got some stuff coming. We got more things on Wednesday and Thursday because we're going to continue to release these Halloween, classic reviews, and we're gonna have all the new reviews, and we're gonna have all type of stuff coming through. So, I cannot wait for Hellraiser. All the early reviews on Hellraiser, people are like, oh, "It's so good," and the
early reviews on that are saying it's solid. Yeah, that freaking Werewolf by Night is getting some pretty good early praise too.
I know a little off topic, but I was reading an article that it's up by Fandom, so take it or leave it. Fandom. I have feelings about them sometimes. But their sources, I looked into it and stuff like that too. But they said that Disney Plus, it might be done with Marvel shows, and only Marvel stick to special things like Werewolf by Night. So other little one-off comic books, little short storylines that is not directly related to like the MCU, which will be good. I wouldn't mind that. Like leave the MCU be in theaters and let special presentations be on Disney Plus. I'm cool with that.
I agree.
Has anyone seen that Emancipation teaser trailer?
I saw a poster. Is it real?
Yeah, it's real. It's real. I was like, it comes out in December, but it's Will Smith, so everyone's like, toxic.
It's only on Apple TV too, right?
Yeah, it's only on Apple TV.
Yeah. Apple TV has been doing some good stuff.
That's a shame. Although, I bet it really slapped in the box office.
Too soon.
Yeah. No, but I heard like there's people like Kevin Hart was out there saying like, hey, enough is enough. Like just chill out, be cool again. But
everyone says that for Will Smith. He needs to just chill, but
No, I'm telling the Chris Rock, like, man, like makeup.
Oh, Chris Rock he was not getting people in his shows. He was not selling out his shows. Now he's selling out his shows. Hey, if I get slapped on national TV, I am milking it for everything I can get.
Yeah.
Will Smith don't get me wrong. Chris Rock is rich. Will Smith, if woke up right now today and had Chris Rock money, he'll kill himself. That's how rich.
I was saying, Chris Rock is rich. SNL rich. Like Will Smith is Fresh Prince.
Yeah,
he's
rich.
Independence Day. He's Men in Black. Like he still gets more money now. Like every time we see him on TV, he gets more money. He gets a check.
Yeah,
his check from
Karate Kid
for Wild West. He gets a check for Wild West right now. Everyone talks about how he was so stupid to go do Wild West. his check for Wild West is more money than almost all of our salaries.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
Yeah.
it's
For a
not
horrible-
that bad being Will
horrible
Smith.
movie. Yeah. So we got real quick. We got in there. So we're gonna do the Black Panther trailer right now. But real quick, Haunted House was saying, they changed their name to the Haunted House of Nerd Show, which is awesome. It goes in that Black Panther trailer. Dope AF. Can't even lie. It looks pretty. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
it looks
you know where I stand with this, but
looks very pretty. And you say, hey, got a little convo going on in there. All right, let's watch this thing, man.
right.
You wanna intro it?
let's do this. I got this.
All right. And I got it ready to go.
All right, here we go. Transitioning, guys. And welcome back to the Spoiler Kings, guys. You know what time it is. This is Monday. This is October 3rd. So you know what trailer we're watching first. Come on, Wakanda Forever. Everyone's ready. Let's watch it.
All right. Let me know you guys can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Only the most broken people can be great leaders.
His people did not call him general or king. They called him Kukul Khan, the feather serpent god. Killing him
That's cool.
will risk eternal war.
He's coming for the surface world.
We know what you whisper. They have lost the protector. Now is our time to strike. Show them who we are.
There you go.
All right, I'm starting off this time. That was a very good trailer. Just was. I mean, it's an epic looking trailer. I have a few problems. I hate the fact that he continue to kill Chadwick or really they're killing T'Challa over and over. Chadwick died once. They're killing T'Challa over and over in all these shows. I hate seeing it. And it's starting to really piss me off. And that's my biggest problem. Like, you know how I feel about, recast T'Challa, how I feel about, even Chadwick saying, you should, I'm not the character. I'm just playing the character. The character should live on. And that's why I definitely believe. And I think that this has a lot more stories to tell. And it's very important. But I just hate the fact that you're killing him over and over again. I feel like the story should have done something else. They continue to have this funeral scene and showing the funeral scene and showing this mural because it's making money, profiting off of someone's death. And I just hate seeing that, And as I said in the previous review, it's hard finding good movies, especially for Black people, to see them as characters that are superheroes. It's really hard. So that's why I'm like, I know financially, I know a lot of people are going to boycott. I'm not going to boycott because I believe you have to. I don't want to lose characters because I'm upset with their choices. I want to still have that character because I want to, even if they make the choice that he's going to live on in his son, I feel like you still have to have it. I don't want to lose it because of that.
Real quick, I did see somebody else on Facebook talk about it, where it's like saying the same thing. I think it was part of E-Man's movie review. Chicago guys, all that. But somebody was like, he said he wasn't going to boycott it for the same reason. He goes, we can't get a recast T'Challa if they
kill
stop
the entire
making
franchise.
Black Panther movies.
Yeah, that's it.
We're not going to get a recast T'Challa if this movie fails, which I don't think it's going to fail anyway. But if
I say $1 billion still.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But there's a whole French thing. I don't know how hard that's going to hit it, but like you said, like if they decide, because they're not going to blame it on like, oh, that's why. They're going to be like, oh, it's because
you don't support your black characters. Why would I do this?
Yeah, you don't support women. You don't support black characters. You don't like, what we did with Namor. Or you don't, support Hispanic characters.
You don't like that. We're not going Hispanic. We're not doing Central American characters. We're not doing any of these things.
Marvel already found a way to twist it to kill him in the movie. You don't think they're going to twist it to blame everything else except for their decision?
Yeah.
That's how I see it. So it was like, yeah. So shout out to whoever that was in the E-Man's group, where it said that it's like, we're not going to recast T'Challa if they're just kind of
kill off the whole franchise.
Yeah, and then put Black Panther in like side roles like they do with the Hulk. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, Black Panther's going to show up in New World Order, or he's going to show up over here in that thing. So
he's going to be like War Machine. Black Panther's like War Machine. And the fact, don't get me wrong, these are both black characters that are superheroes. They're now on the same level. If you know anything about T'Challa, if you know anything about Black Panther, these are now on the same level. How powerful. He's the top 10 smartest person to ever exist in Marvel. Like this is what we're killing. We're killing T'Challa. And that's what I can't get my mind wrapped around it. But I have to go. And that's where I am.
Yeah. I mean, if it's any consolation, we'll probably do a rent out a theater, which doesn't give the movie as much money as renting out every single seat, because we're gonna rent out probably. Hopefully, they haven't released those yet.
It's just that date next week.
Yeah, probably. But there was 20 of us, and I think we paid. I don't know if it's a lot of money, but $150 between 20 of us, and the theater fit maybe like 80 people, and there was just 20 of us in this giant theater. So doing that probably lost money, overall, so if that's any consolation to it at all.
All right.
But
if you guys don't know, me and Take are all about recast T'Challa. That's just what it is. But I know Brandon, he's not against it, but he has a different view. So I really want to hear what he has to say about this.
Well, like I've said many times in the past, I get why they would not, why they decided not to recast T'Challa, but based on what everything that's kind of transpired with the character several times over, he's had all these near brushes with death. He was technically dead. He was resurrected. Only to die again for good. And, unfortunately, there were obvious circumstances in real life that we have to take into account. I understand why they would want to, kind of honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy, but at the same time, where we've seen things go with the narrative, the fact that there was a lot more longevity in the character. Yeah. That sucks that they're bringing the character to an end. Like I said, I'm torn on it. I get the why. There were a lot of contributing factors that were beyond anyone's control, and Kevin Feige just felt like he had to pay. Probably just had to pay. Kevin Feige and Ryan Coogler felt like the best course of action was to just pay tribute to Chadwick. But
I still never understand why Feige didn't just wait. There was no rush.
Yeah. He even said, he goes, oh, it's too soon to recast.
then it's too soon to make the movie.
Exactly. Well, I put out a tweet over on on Twitter, obviously, duh. But it said something like Kevin Feige said it's too early to recast, but it's not too early to profit off his death. You know, I think. I'm sorry if I cut you off, but this trailer also, like what Shill said, everything's gonna be all right now. The soundtrack in the first one, you said it hit better, which it completely did. This one didn't have the same sadness, which I agree. They should have cut out the whole beginning sequence of the funeral part and started this trailer off with Namor coming down from the sea. Because after that, they never really show Chadwick and the whole funeral part like that. If they would have just focused on that, I think I would have liked this trailer a little bit more. Because the beginning part just it left a nasty taste in my mouth for the whole trailer. And we got Namor flying around. He got his little wings flapping, which was like, I literally giggled like a little schoolgirl. I'm like, oh, hey, like, because I like Namor, and I really like what they're doing with this version of him. It's pretty cool.
It makes sense not make him Atlantean.
Yeah.
Why not bring another culture?
Well, also, like Disney doesn't like sharing shit. And like we can't copyright Atlantis. All right, cool. We can copyright, Talokan. Like we could do that. They could try. They tried copywriting Day of the Dead for Coco, and that kind of did not go well.
How you gonna do that? It's been around for longer than you.
Yeah. Tell Disney that, but they don't like sharing stuff. So Aquaman Atlantis is already going on, so they're like, all right, we need to redo our thing. So it'll be interesting to see what goes forward with showing off, this version of Namor, because so far, man, people are really digging him. Really, really digging him.
Andy says, totally get you guys' view on Black Panther 2. On a lighter note, I've literally never said that a movie was too much like the comic, but those boot wings should have stayed on the page.
No, what?
And then in the same breath, you got all the house on their show. The wings are effing dope.
Yeah.
I'm cool with the ankle wings. I'm cool with that.
And they're not boots. They're like
that's
actual. Because he's a mutant. Yeah. Like, what are you talking about? That is awesome, man.
Like, it's amazing.
That is awesome. They're like flapping, which is cool. I never thought how they would do it. I'm like, would they just stay and they kind of like float or little flee? They're like hummingbirds, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. You saw what he was doing. He was just like running in the air. You can't fight someone that's in the air doing all those things. That was pretty.
That was super cool. Yeah, he was like dodging everything and let me mute that. Yeah, he was like dodging everything and bam, bam, bam. It was like juking in the air, like that was cool. So seeing Riri was super cool.
I gotta say I like Riri. Seeing Riri is more. I'm more excited to see her than I am to see another Black Panther. Shuri, I'm just not. Once again, another person who's a top 10 smartest person ever to be found in Marvel. I'm just not excited to see her as Black Panther this soon. I'm probably more excited for M'Baku than I am for Shuri doing this whole thing. And honestly, I think I wouldn't be surprised if we have 2 or 3 people wearing the Black Panther suit during this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be cool with it. I mean, do what Thor did. Like, hey, I give you power of Thor. Every kid's Thor now.
So and she has to remake it, in her lab, so she can remake as much as she wants. So everyone can be Black Panther.
If Killmonger just threw on
you get a Black Panther. You get a Black Panther. Everybody gets a Black Panther.
Yeah. But I'm still sticking to my hopeful theory, is we get Star-Lord T'Challa,
That would be the coolest thing ever if that actually did happen. Honestly,
because
I would be the only one in the theater to go, yes!
Yeah.
And we're looking around like, sorry.
Yeah, like he wouldn't care that he's not Black Panther. He's like, cool, be Black Panther. Like I was a badass without that suit, and let him still be a badass, and then you can easily bring in a different actor. And
the question is, do you follow comic book more or do you follow movie more? Because those are two different things. And if you don't know that, I mean, you really should grab a Black Panther comic book. But are you excited? Do you think you're going to see Doom? Or do they keep him out?
They keep him.
I'm starting to feel like they might wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have him as a end credit scene.
That's what they've been rumoring too.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they wait.
I don't know if they know how far this movie, how the movie's going to go, and that's why I think they're going to bring Doom in. They're going to pull out all the stops. I mean, the runtime is 2 hours and 41 minutes. This is going to be a long movie. They're going to pull out all the stops, everything they can to make sure this movie does well. They're going to try.
Mm-hmm.
I just got to say that. I mean, this is funny. His mutant ability is cankling. Cankle wings. And you're just funny. I just can't.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys, anything else for this reaction?
That's about it on my end.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so hard. I have different feelings. Yeah, especially watching Woman King, and then watching this, and you can see the similarities that were taken, especially with the Dora Milaje. You know, like obviously that was yeah. You know, and a lot of these other things, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just you can see how great something like that could be with like Woman King if they decide they want to like really put into it. But then I feel like they're holding back a lot. You know what I mean?
I can hear you.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
And well, obviously, if it's 2 hours and 47 minutes, they are holding back a lot. So we're gonna get a lot of information that we did. You know, of course, you're gonna get Namor's sister. I mean, someone is going to die from them. That's what's going to start this whole thing. Who dies here, guys? I want. Who else dies
Besides
T'Challa? Who else dies?
I can see like his parents or something. Somebody he loves, you know, somebody Namor loves that kind of starts the whole thing in motion.
His sister's going to die.
Yeah.
You know, she's big. You know.
Yeah. Well, real quick, and then Nerd Show said they're saying we won't see Doom, but he might be teased via Easter egg, maybe. Laveria mention. I can see that too.
What I saw was they said the next time you see Wanda, she's going to be married to Doom, and that's how you're going to introduce Doom.
Nah, get out of here. That would not be good.
They married in the comics, man.
Did they?
Yes, they definitely did. They definitely did.
She's got a lot of shit to deal with before that happens.
I don't know. I mean, you're gonna have the Disney Plus show. I think that's gonna bring a lot of stuff back around. Does Queen Ramonda die in this movie?
Fair enough.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule it out, but if they better not, man. They better not.
Yeah, I think that would be a little too nasty spirited. You know, by Marvel
Someone
standards.
has to die, and obviously it's not going to be M'Baku because he's around forever.
Yeah,
someone else has to die. And Angela Bassett, though she looks like she's 25, is 65 years old. I'm just saying. I don't know. That could definitely piss me off enough to have to walk out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll be in a private theater, but like, pause it. Give me 5.
Stop. I can't do it.
Hit the pause button. Yeah.
All right, but I want to hear what everyone else thinks about this trailer. I mean, you know, it's everywhere. You can't go anywhere on YouTube. You can't go anywhere on the internet without seeing this trailer. I want to know what your thoughts are. Please hit in the comment section. Tell us what you think. Of course, I want you to like this video and then subscribe because it always helps with all the stuff we're trying to do. We're trying to put as much content out there as we can. So please like and subscribe. Put comments in. We will definitely talk back to you guys. And we will come out. I want to know where we stand before this movie comes out. Where we at? November 11th?
Yep.
November 11th, guys. This time is going fast. 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Here we go. I don't know, man. This whew. I have so many emotions. I just don't know what to do.
Same.
All right. Let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Do we have a next one?
Nah, we probably call it, man.
We've done this for an hour 45 minutes, man.
Yeah,
I am about to climb right into bed.
But you know, I'm gonna go through these. The Mario Rabbit beers would be better. Oh, really? No, the Mario Rabbit ears was better than the ankle wings.
Ankle wings.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, so I'm just going to pretty much end the show because I'm going to tell you guys, thank you everyone for jumping in on House of Nerd. Andy, you're hilarious. Chillmonger, I was watching your stream.
On House of Nerd.
I love all you guys. I mean, really, Chill. One of these days, I would want to talk to you because my thoughts are different than yours, but I think we get to the same point, going different ways. So I would love to be able to talk to you one of these times.
Yeah, I think you guys are like 90% on the same page, and then
you just go like, if you're up to
that 10% is like really, really far apart. But I really want, I know Chill, if he's still around, it sucks, like Brian's working every Saturday. I know Brandon's busy every Saturday. I don't got time on Saturdays. Saturdays just really suck, which is why we do it late at night during the week.
I run 7 restaurants.
But I would still love to have him on the show because I love watching Chill's videos. He's always very chill about everything. Even when he gets heated, very thoughtful.
He's very thoughtful. Even though he gets heated, he is very thoughtful about what he's saying. So that's why I respect what he says. And even if I'm a little bit different, D, I appreciate you being here, coming in, and Derpy, you're my boy. So I'm all for it. Except when you're talking about the Bears, you're gonna get hit in the eye tomorrow.
Yeah, wait till tomorrow. Somebody's getting hit, either Justin Fields or somebody's getting hit.
But thank you guys for joining us today.
Thank you,
Tank. Thank you for coming and giving us some time. I know you're gonna start hearing someone just stomp on the floor. Get up here.
Oh, no, she'll call me. You've done it before. Like,
hey,
you come up here now.
Let's go. Randy, thank you for taking time. I know we're taking you away from your lifting time. I don't know if you guys know, he's a personal trainer. He's jacked. That's coming from me.
You're too kind.
But thank you guys.
And when we were at C2E2 and we finally met the Colt Lords, even the Colt Lords are like, holy shit, like where's these? We don't see these on showing his arm.
I remember that.
So that's what that's so funny. But as I'm saying, guys, we appreciate you. We'll be back later this week. We're gonna do a live show on Thursday. If you guys get a chance, please do it. Oh, look, guys.
Oh, look at him. Look at him.
You got a little Snoopy Halloween costume on.
Oh, my gosh. You got a mini-me, man.
Look at the baby.
Yeah.
Look at you with a mini-me. That is so cute.
He's looking at all the lights.
He's like, wow, Daddy. Look at all this stuff. Or right now he's thinking, wow, not the mommy. Look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
But as I said, guys, we're going to be on Thursday. We're going to be releasing videos all week. Jump in our comments. Like and subscribe. We need you guys. Thank you. And we're out of here.
Thank you, guys.
See you, Lucas.
Look at him.